Hey, what is up you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building KASHYYYK, the Imperial base from Jedi Fallen Order. This is going to be another fantastic week. We start work on not only baseplate number 2, but also baseplate number 3 as well. Yeah, it should be a really good episode. We get some more work on the landing pad on the lower side, as well as some terrain work, and we'll also work on building up the height of the second and third baseplates as well. Before we get into it, I want to say a huge shout out to a couple of donators on the last live stream. We had Grinding Bricks and also Captain Phantom. Huge thank you to you guys who donated. It really does go a long way to supporting the channel, and definitely come along to my live streams. I not only do Building KASHYYYK streams, but I also do set building streams as well as gaming streams now on the Skywalker Saga, so definitely come along. They're a ton of fun. I have a ton of fun making them, and I'm really thankful to everyone who comes along and donates and even just comes along and supports the channel. I really do appreciate it, but without further ado, let's head straight into the episode. Okay, so with the first baseplate pretty much complete on the last episode, it's now time to start on baseplate number 2, which is going to go behind baseplate number 1, and this is going to be raised up to the exact height that we have the higher section on baseplate number 1. So this is me just raising it up, working out where I want different things, and of course adding in dark bluish grey bricks on 2 of the 4 sides. This was quite a long process. I had to work out exact heights and also work out different pillars and stuff, and I have to go back in and change a load of this different stuff here, but overall it was a good process of raising it up, and I'm glad I managed to get some good steps in right here, and now I can really start to work on the height of the platform. So let's get straight into the time lapse and have a little look at what we get done. Okay, so we're about halfway done now. The wall is pretty much half the height of the first baseplate now. We also now have the exact height of the pillars and everything. This is exactly how high they should be, and you can see it's going to fit flush with the baseplate that I've already completed. Now this is going to look really good in my opinion. I'm now going to jump ahead in a bit of progress and show you the base layout that I've got for the top section, which is going to sit on top of all those pillars. So you can see this is just 2 plate thick of actual plates that are put together to form the exact size of a 48 by 48 baseplate. And I'm going to basically try and attach all the pillars to the top section in order to make sure that they're in the exact right position, and then get them attached to the bottom section. Now this was a super fiddly process, but I think it's going to turn out pretty well. Once I have to adjust everything and get everything perfect, I think it'll be perfect and it'll be nice and supportive. This is kind of a prototype right now. I will be going back in and changing a load of different things, as you'll see later in the episode, but right now I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So this is just more time lapses of me trying to attach this to the actual lower baseplate. This is harder than it looks because you have to line up every single pillar exactly perfectly and make sure it's also raised up with the sides that I've already built and stuff like that. So this was definitely fiddly, but I managed to get it pretty much sorted on this time lapse here. After this I'm going to head into a stream, so I'm going to time lapse all of that as well. So I hope you guys enjoy. Sit back, relax, grab some popcorn and see what we work on, and then I'll cut back in after the stream. So after that stream, you can see I've now raised this up fully to the top height right here. Now this is the exact height that it needs to be really. I may need to add a few bricks on top just to get it to the right exact height. Perfectly fitting with the actual tiles and different snot sections that I have depending on what I do right there. But you can see it's working really nicely and it's going to fit perfectly. I think I do need to raise up one more plate but that'll be pretty easy to do. And you can see on my stream I started to work on a few different things over here with regards to this terrain over here and raising up this platform ready for the snot, which we're going to touch on again in a little bit later on. And now I'm going to head straight into a little package that has some really cool stuff. So we have this giant package here from Bricklink. You can see it's going to be a lot of filler plate, a lot of filler brick, and lots of dark bluish grey as well. So you can see here, firstly we have loads of different plates in lime green. There's a lot of different colours in here. Colours don't really matter when it comes to filler bricks, so it's really nice just to order them as cheap as possible. I did in fact get a ton of these purple plates right here. These are pretty big plates and they're going to be integral to keeping up different supported structures, and I've really got some good deals on these. I think they're about 6x10 studs, so that's going to be really useful. I also got more of these long pillars and a lot more dark bluish grey plate as well. You can see just a ton of that in here, more different blue colours, tan, and much more. I also got some smaller plates as well and some more dark bluish grey different pieces here. You can see I'm just going through quickly all the different pieces that I ended up picking up, some tiles, some cheese slopes, and much more in here. But that was a really good package. It cost me about £35 on Bricklink, so it wasn't the worst deal in the world, and I was mainly looking for just a ton of filler plate because I'm going to have to do a load of different raising up on different base plates and things like that. And when it comes to raising things up and being cost effective, big plates are really useful. Obviously I'd love to have loads of 16x16 plates, but they're super expensive. Here's a few more tiles and a couple last things in the box here, and then we're going to move into some more progress. So the next thing I wanted to work on was this sort of small platform right here, and the continuation of the platform that the Imperial troop transport is going to be on. So you can see here, this is just prototyping the size and shape of everything and getting it all fixed in. Later in the episode I'm going to work on a lot more of that, and now you can see I've also got the pieces to finish off this second cargo crate. These corner pieces tend to be quite rare and expensive. I haven't really found them in too many stores, especially not in high quantity, so this was good to get a last 4 of these for this one right here, and I think I'll probably have at least one more of these cargo crates in the final mock. But yeah, really happy with the way that's turning out, and we're now going to head into some more progress on the lower platform below the Imperial transport. Okay, so you can now see we have a continuation of the lower platform right here. You see I've added some different details in here, obviously a bit more mud and a few more grill plates and stuff like that. I quite like this inset design where the grill plates are slightly lowered into the platform. I really like the way that looks, and I quite like the way I've incorporated one of them being a bit more brown. Obviously the end piece isn't quite finished yet, but we've still got a little bit more work to do there, but it's kind of like a prototype in there. But if we pop the Imperial troop transport in there now, you can see pretty much where this is going to sit and how this is going to look in the finished mock. Obviously it covers up a lot of the hard work I've done, a lot of the details I've done, but I think it's good that I managed to still put in some details underneath there, even if you may not see them in the final design. But I love the way this is looking, and I can't wait to get more work done on it. Okay, something else I wanted to show you this week is the little update and a sort of sneak peek into something that I'm going to be showing you in a haul / vlog at the end of the month. But this is a haul that came in, or a few hauls, with some sand troopers, a couple of figs right there that are actually fake Lego. I won't be using them in the mock, but I wanted to show you them nonetheless. I was mainly getting them for the helmets. You can see we have just a load of different pieces in here, some really good figs, and I can't wait to use these in the mock. We also have some Firestar Toys arms that are going to be great for upgrading some more scout troopers. They did in fact send me the replacement arms for the ones that were missing in that first haul a few weeks back. So if you do also want to upgrade your figs like this with arms, definitely go and check out Firestar Toys, and you can use my discount code FSSWBFigs for 10% off. But yeah, you can see this is just a small update to my Imperial army. Just that front section is looking really good. I also went through and added in the correct blasters to all of my stormtroopers. I know I had the first order blasters on there before, but yeah, now we have the correct ones in there, and also a couple of blasters on the Imperial officers and stuff like that. So that's looking really good in my opinion. Okay, so you can now see that I was just doing a little bit of strength testing on this base plate, and I really wasn't happy with how strong this was. So in the end, I decided to rip up this entire part. The green bit was actually okay. It was more the sort of area where these two plates met. Obviously I had to have a little bit of dark bluish grey there. So I decided to completely restart this section and also raise it up by another whole plate underneath that top layer, just purely because then it'll be a nice perfect height for the snot to attach and be in line with the other base plate that I've already done. So this will be really useful, and it will definitely save on plates later on, and I think it'll be way more sturdy, and I think that's just something I really want with my filler brick. I definitely don't want pieces sort of falling out here and there. I think the time lapse might have ended slightly short here. You might see a sudden jump, but now we've got a little bit more progress done, and you can see this area is really sturdy. We basically added 2 layers of plate, thinner plates underneath this, and then big plates on top, pretty much with every single gap being covered underneath, adding some real nice strength. And you can see now it lines up really nicely. There is a little little bit of a crack there, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. But yeah, you can see it's perfect height now for snot bricks, and then I can raise it up by 2 plates and add tiles as well. So you can see this is just me showing off how it is the right height right there and sits nice and flush with the next base plate. But then we went and worked on a few more bits here and a few more bits of scaffolding underneath the actual plates, and then moved into another time lapse here where we finish off all of that area there. I'll let you sit back and enjoy this last time lapse here, and then we'll cut back in at the end. And there we go, it's pretty much raised up, and you can see now we have a nice border on this side, so it's now sitting lovely and flush with the thing. We also have a little bit of overhang here to perfectly sort of like cover up that gap right there, and I'm really happy with how smoothly this fits, and you can see it's sort of lining up pretty nicely there, and we have the whole thing nice and ready to work on this snot platform. You can see this gap that I was talking a little bit more about earlier on. You can see it's pretty much, I believe, because the table is slightly bowing a little bit. I don't think it's too much to do with the bricks, so hopefully I'm going to try this out next week and sort of move it onto a more flat surface, see what's going on with that. But yeah, really not sure what's going on with this right here, but it still sits pretty flush, and I'm honestly pretty happy with it right there. Okay, so that's another week done here in the Building KASHYYYK series, guys. I know it wasn't like the most tangible progress in the world. I mean, that second base plate really did take a long time to raise it up that height and also get the sturdiness and everything all stable and everything like that. But I'm really happy with the final outcome, and I think we can now really start to progress on and start to really work on some more stuff, like the whole details of that entire platform. I want to do some really cool snot stuff. So if you have any ideas or any good sort of like snot platforms that you've seen out there on Instagram, or any photos or any mocks that you've made or seen made out there on the internet, definitely send them to me. I can really do some inspiration for those, so it'd be really useful. But we now have a space for the TIE fighter to go, and we can now start to progress after we've done that onto working on the actual entrance to the base and the base wall and rock wall itself. So it's going to be a really good few couple of weeks after this, and a couple of months. It's going to be a ton of progress getting done in the next few weeks and months, so I can't wait. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. It definitely helps to not miss out on these episodes. And of course, if you want to join my membership program, hit the join button down below and you'll get early access to every one of these KASHYYYK episodes, as well as a few other benefits right there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.